There's other exciting news. What's the other exciting news you wanted to talk about?
Oh, not necessarily exciting, but the possibility of Disney snatching up more IPs,
Yeah. Stealing more of your childhood
stealing more of your childhood. All right,
and
well
ruining it.
let me just share something, and this is what caught a lot of people off guard the other day. It was this image. It popped up all over Facebook. It's Disney, The Never-Ending Story, 2024. Now the image looks, you're like, that 100% looks like an image that Disney would release, but they would release it through proper channels, and anybody could have made this at any time
Yeah.
because like everybody lost. First of all, everybody lost their minds, and understandably so. 'Cause it's like, wait a minute,
In a good way or in a bad way?
well, good
Or
for
a
me and
mixed
you,
bag?
but it was mostly a are you serious right now? We saw what you guys have done to the well-loved franchises of like today and yesteryear, and you want to take a super duper coveted film from and this story from years ago that just crushed and molded at the same time some childhoods, and you're gonna let Disney do wokeify it. But what happened is there was some pretty quick, although everybody right now, that image is still being shared all over the place. A Something else is being shared, some information about whether or not it's actually happening, and because the once popular IPs that we all loved seem to be getting snapped up left and right. And many people assumed that Disney was the company that was reviving. Nonetheless, people were pretty not excited to hear that Disney may have stolen their stuff. But what actually is happening is that Michael Endy Productions, who I'm sorry, the rights have been sold to Michael Endy Productions and Seesaw Films. Michael Endy is the guy who actually wrote The Neverending Story in 1979. Now he was old when that happened because he was born in like 1928 or something like that. But his production company and the people that are now taking care of his estate now own the rights once again to The Neverending Story, and they're having Seesaw Films, who, and I saw some stuff that they had done before, but Seesaw Films, so they have, let's see, anything. The Power of the Dog.
Didn't see it.
Let's see. Lion. Yeah. The Stranger. That's supposed to be super interesting.
Didn't see it. Anything I've seen.
Right. Macbeth, Mr. Holmes.
Ooh, that seems interesting.
How to Talk to Girls at Parties.
That is required reading for young men who are kind of dumb now because of all the corn.
Because of the corn. So, well, anyway, they've done some movies. They've done some films. Let's just go ahead and get rid of this. But apparently,
so you're saying we would probably trust them a lot quicker than we would trust, say, an evil empire like Disney that decides to destroy everything.
Instead of dragging our childhood dreams into the swamps of sadness. Yes. It appears that a production company that doesn't have crazy political ties or very clear agenda is going to be making this. People who will make hopefully a beautiful film. Hopefully there'll be like a lot of cool CGI and stuff. There could be a lot of interesting new tech that they use, but the concept of the nothing is so incredible and daunting and frightening. And how do you, aside from clouds rolling in, like how do you even personify that? How do you even put that on film? And to create that feeling of the bounce back and forth between the real world and the kid reading the story and then the story actually happening, and the two worlds then colliding and coming together, however that happens. But I fucking loved it when I was a kid. I would still watch it today. I will still rock out to that song. I would blast it in my truck going down the street and get looked at by other dudes with beards, but that's fine. because they're just not comfortable with themselves to be able to listen to the never-ending story blasting down a street in Iowa.
Uncapped Turtle is so affected by Atrix. Is it Artax? It's Artax, right? Artax. Artax dying that he blocked it from his memory, as you should. But that, sir, that is what happens to your childhood when it goes through Disney.
Yeah, it's it is curious. So we're very glad for those who weren't here earlier. The rumor mill had been spouting that Disney had somehow obtained the rights and released already a poster for the Neverending Story to come out sometime this year. That is apparently wrong. Although what's weird is I didn't find anything about Disney saying, "Oh, hey, there's all this stuff on social media about us doing Neverending Story, and we're not doing that." Instead, I had to find some article on IMDb about somebody who knew what was going on, where the original author's estate, the original author of the Neverending Story, the book, his estate has the rights now, got the rights to the film, and they're working with Seesaw Films to do something. So sometime soon there will be something that is the Neverending Story, is in the Neverending Story universe. A new Neverending Story series or series of films will be coming out from Seesaw Films, but no additional news on that other than Disney will not be R-taxing this franchise.
R-taxing. I hope. Well, Disney's aggressive.
R-taxing is a crime.
Disney is like nature. They are like nature. Somehow they find a way. So I would not put it. I'm hoping that Disney doesn't get their grubby little Kathleen Kennedy stained horrible hands on this, but I wouldn't. They might still wheel and deal, man. Because honestly, they're doing so poorly. And everything that they've been making has been flopping so badly. Not just because it's woke, because we understand that, I worked at Disney. I got hired at Disney when I was 18, many, many moons ago. And they were pushing this woke DEI agenda then. And that was 20 years ago. But it's like a constant march towards that whole, we don't care about meritocracy. We don't care about what's good, who's good at what they do. We care about hiring people that look a certain way, that we can fill quotas, and that also think exactly. And I'm talking exactly the way that they think. I mean, there is a litmus test for your politics to line up like doot. And you can't get a job if you look like you or I. Like you just can't. It's just not going to happen anymore. But you also have to have the political mindset that lines up with them. And it's very Einsfight. It's very Prussian in that kind of funny mustache WW2 bad guy way. And because of that, it doesn't even matter that they're putting the left wing woke message in stuff. It's just, you've not hired based on merit, so everything just is bad. And then you're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're also going to force feed you all this rainbow crap, and wrap it in shitty wrapping paper. So everything sucks. So they're desperate for new content. They're like, we need to get, and they love the nostalgia route. So I think it might happen still. I think it might happen. Sorry, I went on a long rant there, but am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong.
This is not gospel, but he is right.
So being savage.